help you catch more fish. It's guaranteed.
This segment of the Center Sportsman is brought to you by Robbins Marine, taking care of boaters since 1955.
This episode was sort of special to me because my son, my oldest son, Dana, he's coming home on leave. He was in Iraq fighting the war, and this was special to me to get him home hunting with me again. I couldn't wait. And just when he was going on leave, the timing was probably right around fall turkey season. So I thought, we could probably get a hunt together, a father-son hunt together, which I really cherish, taking my two sons hunting with me and teaching them about the outdoors. Dana was stationed in Fallujah, Iraq, with the 82nd Airborne Division, the All-American Division. And I can remember talking to him on the phone many times, and we'd be talking about, what's going on around the house, or seeing any deer, any turkey, or what am I fishing for. And all of a sudden in the background you could hear gunfire going off and mortar explosions. And he goes, "Well, Dad, I gotta go." So he'd have to hang up, and I tell you, it was a long 4 years for my wife and I while my son was in the service. And I just couldn't wait for him to get out of there and come home and go hunting and fishing with the old man again.
Where's your shotgun? I'm gonna put mine right here. It's close.
We went out early in the morning and tried to call. The fall turkey hunting is really, it's fun, and this would be probably a good way to introduce a new person to turkey hunting. It's a little different in the spring because you can hunt both species. You can hunt the gobbler or the hen. And a lot of times, the main thing is the scouting. You have to do the pre-scouting to find out if the turkey are in the area. And you look for the scratching, the turkey scratchings and the fresh turkey scratching and sign. And if you know that they're frequently using the same area, which they will, they'll make like a little pattern. And what I like to do now is I set a blind up where I think they're going to come through. And that is one of the best things the Pennsylvania Game Commission allows us now to have a blind. And I thought what a great idea, that you can put a youngster in there or somebody that's not familiar with hunting and just use a blind, and it's safe. You don't see any movement. So it's actually a real effective way to go fall turkey hunting. I just happened to know that there was turkey in the area because it was archery season, and I knew that turkey were frequent this area, so I set a blind, had everything ready to go. Right off the bat, you want to give the assembly call, and which is the dominant hen calls the flock back in. And that would be a series of long yelps, a series of maybe 10, 15, 20 yelps. And usually the female, the dominant hen, is the loudest in the group, and which it calls the flock in. So that's a little bit different than the spring turkey hunt, where you're calling the gobbler in, and you want to sound like an excited hen. Here you just want to give a steady, 10, 15, maybe a 20 series in yelps, and to get the turkeys to come in right first thing in the morning. Now, what happens if you don't do that, and the flock gets together? You have a heck of a time trying to call those turkeys to you. But what I like to do, and this is a little tip for you, is if you're scouting, say you're walking along and you're looking for the turkey, you're doing your scouting, and you see a flock ahead of you, and you call and they don't respond, they may go away from you, is what you want to do is break that flock up. And sometimes I'll just run right at them and get them to scatter in all directions. Then you can go back to your blind and then wait about 20 minutes to half an hour. It doesn't take long sometimes, and give that assembly, that hand assembly call, and that'll bring the flock back into you. You actually do this 2 or 3 times. If you have another person you want to take out, you can break the flock up and give the assembly call, and you can shoot a young hen, and they're the best ones to eat anyway. So, but it's a lot of fun. You should try it sometime.
This segment of the Center Sportsman is brought to you by Robbins Marine, taking care of boaters since 1955.
My son and I, we got in their blind, started calling, and I knew the turkey was in the area, and I heard him call back to me. And he flew down off the roost, and he'd come in, but he didn't come directly to me at first.
Hopefully I can get a response. I was hoping they weren't roosting in these pine trees right next to it. Really straight up ahead of us, I think. Hopefully. That's it. There they are. They're behind us. Yeah. Right here. There's some on us. Get down
He come down and he went to the side of our blind. And of course, the cameraman was to the side of our blind in another blind, so we couldn't shoot in that direction.
Trying to stay still. Wow, tough. Okay, you're ready. He's coming down. He's right out here. You see him? Not yet. No, not yet. He's behind a pine tree. Okay, he's coming. He's coming over to the left. Can't get him yet. Can't shoot through this brush. He's coming right down. There he's coming from off to. Oh. Don't move, Dave. Don't move at all.
When he came down, he was looking for us, but he went to the wrong side. Of course, that's our luck. So I put my head out the other side of the blind and directed the call with my hand. And the turkey turned direction, and he finally came across to the other side so Dana could get a good clean shot.
There he is. There he is. There he is. He's coming through. Right. Don't move. Until he's about 20 yards.
I told Dana to get ready because I'm going to stop the turkey and stretch his neck out, and I do that by some clucks, like give him some perch or clucks, and that makes the turkey's head look around, gets, you know, instead of down feeding, brings his head up, so you get a nice clean shot at the head. If this is the turkey's head, put the bead right here, not right on the head, but down below. That way when you go to pull, if you actually pull on the trigger, don't squeeze if you're a little excited. You have a tendency to raise the shotgun a little bit. So if you put the bead right where the turkey's head meets the neck, that way if you do pull a little bit, you'll still shoot the turkey in the head. And that's where you always want to aim, is for the turkey's head.
Oh. Get him. Got him, got him. All right. One shot, one kill.
Yeah, one shot, one kill. In turkey hunting, I like to use the number 6 shot, and the reason that is that you have more shot in the pattern. If you use a 4 shot, you have gaps in between there. And a compromise would probably be the turkey load, a 5 shot. But I like to use a number 6 shot. There's more pellets, and there's less of a chance of you crippling the bird.
Hey, little Jake. Yeah, right here's this little. Let's see.
Cool.
What's that?
Okay. Take your head now, so you can see my face.
This segment of the Center Sportsman is brought to you by Robbins Marine, taking care of boaters since 1955.
A lot of people they'll get too excited and they'll shoot at the turkey too far away, but you want to get them in about 20 yards, 20 to 15 yards, that's about right. And then make a aim for the head, make a clean kill, because those feathers will stop the shot. Well, that was an exciting hunt.
Where's my shotgun?
Good job, man. Good job. Airborne does it again. Airborne.
Yeah. I was thinking about shooting him while he was right here in front of us, but I had some limbs right in front of me, and it would have busted up my shot a little bit, and I didn't want to take the chance. So I'd rather just wait and let him come out and get a perfect shot where he can get a nice clean kill.
Yeah,
instead of breaking up some of your shot and then you maim the bird and he takes off.
Yeah,
So
it's good to wait till you have a good open shot.
it gives them the weight.
What were you using for the shot?
Shot?
Yeah, what were you using?
I used some Federal 6-shot. I don't use the 4s anymore. It leaves too many gaps in the pattern. But just 2 ounce 6-shot, 3-inch magnums.
Federal. They're
Federal.
buffered.
Federal.
The number 4 shot are bigger, but there's not as many pellets. And what happens when you shoot, it leaves gaps, and if that turkey just happens to move his head in one of those gaps, then you
miss them.
But if you use 6-shot, it's a lot. There's more pellets in it, and it covers the.
Doesn't
it concentrates the shot more. You know, it leaves very few gaps.
Yeah.
So this was a while back. I had a couple turkeys get away from me with using number 4 shot.
Yeah.
But number 4 shot will kill them too. But that's whatever.
That's just at least patterns that extended ranges. And your max is about 30, 35, 40 maybe.
I'll tell you, that's a great thing if you want to take a kid out for the first time out in the woods, because they move around a lot, and turkeys are, man, their eyesight is so sharp.
Yeah.
So you have to move real slow. But the blind, we set up a blind here. I knew these turkeys were working in this area, and I knew they were roosting in these trees around us. But the only bad thing was we had a second blind with a cameraman in, Dave. Well, she was sitting in the blind. The turkey came down right where the blind was. So
yeah, so he couldn't shoot.
So yeah, he was making the young gobble. You could hear him gobble a little bit. It's a young Jake, and after a while, when I knew he wouldn't walk this way, he wanted to go up the hill, because I think they were feeding that way every morning.
He wanted to head off to the right. We couldn't get a shot then.
I know. So what my strategy was to stop calling, making him think that we went that way. The turkey went downhill, and then it worked. He came around. I gave a couple little soft calls out the back. I sort of
Angled the pitch
I angled
out
the
off
pitch.
to the left.
I angled the pitch of the call
Out
downhill, out to left, making him think that we walked away. But boy, that's a slick setup in a blind. That is really a great thing that the Pennsylvania Game Commission
allowed
hunters to use a blind. Before, we had to crawl behind a tree.
You had to sit there. There's no way I could have held it that still while he was moving around all over the place.
And their eyesight, they're so keen. They'd pick you out. The most efficient way is to have the head shot. You want a nice, clean kill right away, so that the turkey doesn't run off and you cripple them. And nobody wants that. Nobody wants to cripple or harm a bird. You want a nice, clean, quick kill. The whole idea, what I wanted to do, was to be the first one calling. That's usually the dominant hen in the morning. What she does, she'll get the flock ready. She'll make some soft calls first thing in the morning, and as soon as she thinks it's safe, she'll a lot of times she'll give a cackle down. She'll give a cackle down call, and what that does is it starts to get the flock assembled in the morning call or young. I like to support the local business, and Top's calls are just as good as anybody's out in the market. And I use the slate call. That's one of my favorite. I use a slate call and a mouth call. That way I can make the little subtle clucks and purrs with the slate call, and then I can give the loud yelp with the mouth call. So then I have my hands free when I'm ready to shoot. This was a really, really special hunt for me, because getting my son home again, hunting with his dad, and I just could not wait for him to come home from Iraq. He did 2 tours in Afghanistan, a tour in Fallujah, Iraq, and it was just hard on myself and my wife, and finally to get the boy home. And it was so special. We had a good hunt. We called the bird in, everything worked out perfect, and the kid made a great shot, and actually the bird was good to eat too. And my wife made turkey croquettes out of it, and boy, it was excellent. We had a great time, and fall turkey hunting, I think, is one of the best times to take somebody out that's new and never killed a turkey before, and take them out, do your scouting, make sure you know the turkey in the area, put a blind up, and sit in there and start calling and see what happens. And just give it a try, and you'll have fun. That's guaranteed.